Three things I wish that I had been told when I first started off in voiceover. That's the topic of this morning's conversation. Good morning. Welcome to the live stream. Bill DeWeese, professional voiceover talent and voiceover coach, voiceover demo producer. We get together every weekday morning to talk voiceover. And first of all, just let me say what a great time we had last night at my live training event. Thank you to all of you, and many of you did attend. It was the Secrets of Self-Performance. The class ended up going about an hour 45 minutes. And man, we talked about all things regarding performance, and we had a blast while doing it. It was fun to get your questions and your feedback and talk about all the strategies that go into giving a great performance so you can win more auditions and make more money in voiceover. The good news is this: if you missed it, it was recorded. So I'm going to make the recordings available through this Friday only. So if you want to buy those, again, they're only available through Friday night, but I've put a link in the description below so you can check that out. So within the class last night, one of the topics that was discussed, and I want to spend just a moment just to share these thoughts with you, was three things I wish somebody had shared with me when I first started in voiceover. The reality is, very little of what was shared with me early on was of any earthly use to me. It was a bit frustrating because the advice I got was, well, get coaching, make a demo, get an agent, get on VoiceBank. Well, I did all those things. And then I went back, to get more coaching and more auditioning through agents and so on and so forth. I found it to be ridiculously hard to get work that way. And eventually I figured out that I needed just to follow good business practices and to market myself as any business would. Tried and true methods that have been used for many years. And that's what began to open things up for me, where I really began to get work. But still, through that time, really figuring out what to do behind a microphone, it took a while to dial that in. And it's something I continue to work on, but at least I figured out the formula. It took a while, but I got it. And there are these three things, and that's what I want to share with you this morning. So if you're ready, if you get your pencil and paper, you ready to take notes? Three things. This is it. Number one, slow down. I haven't even heard you yet, but I'm just telling you, slow down. Because the microphone plays games with our minds. And one of the things that it tends to do is it gives us a little shot of adrenaline. We tend to talk faster than we need to. Probably much like what I'm doing right now. And so learning to put the brakes on and to take your time, even if the script calls for a fast read, you always start slow so you can see not only the words, but you can see the thoughts, you can see the story, which is so incredibly important. But it begins by speaking more slowly than you think you should. Number two, project less. Again, being behind a microphone does something funny with our minds. It makes us feel like we're on stage. It makes us feel like the show is about us, when really we're just the facilitators of the story. We are not the show. But the way that manifests itself is our voice typically pitches up and we project out to the back of the room. We get louder. Our voice gets higher and it gets louder, and it comes from the diaphragm. And it starts to become a performance rather than us communicating. And that can kill the authenticity in a hurry, which we talked about at length yesterday morning. And the third and final thing is this: visualize the story. I touched on that on the first point. Slowing down helps you to do this. To be good at voiceover from a performance standpoint, you've got to understand context. Every script is a story, and you have to understand the context. And the only way to really do that and make it personal is to visualize it. Your visualization may not be what the project ends up looking like, but it doesn't matter, because at least you'll know where you're going. And if you know where you're going, other people will follow. But if you don't, it sounds like you're wandering through the wilderness without a clue. Nobody cares. So slow down, project less, visualize the story. And if you do those three things, it's going to go a long way toward helping you to become a better voiceover talent, a better performer behind the microphone. And again, I want to encourage you to get the entire class, the link below in the description. So if you don't mind taking a second to share your name and where you're watching or listening from this morning, I would love to do a little shout out here this morning to Galen in Cincinnati. Good morning. Patrick, hello to you in Maryland. Derek in Kennewick, Washington. Tess in Tequila, Georgia. Greg in Asheville, North Carolina. Mr. Landers from Binghamton, New York. John in Rhinebeck, New York. David, how are you doing? Phil in Tokyo. Bob in Reidsville, North Carolina. Thanks again for last evening's training. Bob, thank you for being there. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. John, how are you doing in San Diego? Michelle in Boise, Idaho. It's Bob Walker. Bob, how are you doing in Brantford, Ontario, Canada? Glad to be back on the live stream. We're glad to have you here. Tom, how are you doing in South Florida? Good to see you. Brian in Tucson. David in Lexington, Kentucky. Corey is in the land of the National League Central Champions Milwaukee Brewers. Oh, Corey, that's like a dagger in my gut. Jason, so sorry. Good morning to you from Kearney, Nebraska. Sandra, happy hump day to you in Worthington, Ohio. Melissa, good morning in San Diego. Jack, hello in Phoenix. Missed the event, but I'll be watching it later. That's great, Jack. Tim, good morning to you in Salt Lake. Barb in Ann Arbor, Michigan. JR in Austin, Texas. Happy hump day to you as well. Let's see here. Gregory, how are you doing? So glad I can watch your videos. Thanks, Bill from Ringgold, Georgia. Yeah, thank you, Gregory. Hey, Bill, good morning from cool Boise. Signed up for the 90-day voiceover blueprint, the trial, the all-access trial run there. Fantastic, Bill. Glad to have you on board. And by the way, I've got a link to that. And what it is, it's my entire voiceover blueprint and voiceover university. We have a 90-day trial of it. You have all access to it for 3 full months, for 90 days. And so if that sounds of interest, you can check that out. The link's below. Let's see here. We've got, good morning from New York City, now a VoiceOver Blueprint member. Oh, Dave, that's you. Fantastic. Bill's Road Atlas to VO training is a lifesaver to navigate through the VO minefield. No other programs offer this type of training. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. And it's good to have you on the inside. Michelle in Indy. Terry, good morning to you in Falston, Maryland. Great class last night. Thank you, Terry. Wayne from the Olympic Mountains. Rivers are rising. Sophia Ray, how are you doing in Idaho? Riley, good morning to you in Paris, Texas. We've got Marie. Oops, Marie, the live stream moved on me. I know you live in Texas. Let me back this up here. There we go. Great advice, Bill. Thank you for your sharing. I write key points from your videos on paper. It helps along with your many videos. Hey, Marie, that's a great idea. I love it. It makes me feel like I'm back in school, teaching. Mike, greetings from the Golden Gulf Coast of Alabama. Good morning. Just got paid first voiceover job. Oh, it's Igor in St. Petersburg, Russia. Hey, Igor, congrats on getting your first voiceover pay. That's fantastic. That's a pretty big deal. That's a big deal. Nicholas, good morning. A Chilean from Brazil. Spanish voiceovers can reach six-figure income? Absolutely. Oh my goodness, yes. David, hello to you in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. We've got Tom lurking from Indianapolis, Scotty in Brookings, South Dakota. Doug in Greensboro, North Carolina. David in Gardner, Kansas. You have a good day too. Wally, thank you. And good luck to Alex and his new venture. Well, thank you. I'll pass that along. Robert, did you have a great night? I did. Yeah, last night was fantastic. It was a great event, a great night, great students. The content, I love teaching that content because that's the stuff that's going to help you get work. And above all, I want to see you get busy in voiceover, make some money. Adrian, good morning to you in Denver. Dwight, hello from coastal Connecticut. Claire, happy jump into the blueprint day, Professor Bill. Thanks, Claire. Wade from Philadelphia. Claire says she's feeling empowered and ready to scale thanks to your group of VO gurus. Thank you. Thank you, Claire. Thank you. Matt, I came across one of your YouTube shorts, and I really love your content. Well, thank you, Matt. Aaron says, happy Wednesday from Columbia, Missouri. Well, guys, thanks again for being here. So just remember, slow down, experiment with this, and share in the contents what your results are. Slow down a bit, project less, and visualize the story. It can make a huge difference in the outcomes of your auditions. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.